Anthony Sessa, the wolf from Philly. The first time Brooklyn laid eyes on Anthony Sessa, the air got heavy. He stepped off that midnight Amtrak from 30th Street Station, wearing a dark overcoat, smoke curling from his cigarette like it was his own personal fog machine. Philly had its killers, but Sessa, he wasn't just another button man. He was a problem solver. The kind of guy you sent when you wanted chaos turned into order, or a man turned into dust. Word on the street said he was coming at the personal request of Goku D'Angelo. Brooklyn was slipping. Too many betrayals. Too many mouths whispering in shadows. Trock was dead. Harlow's betrayal was still stinking up the borough, and Christian Zintelli was making his move, smooth as oil. Goku needed somebody who wasn't tangled in New York politics. Someone clean of the Brooklyn mud. Philly muscle with no Brooklyn loyalties. That someone was Anthony Sessa. The sit-down La Tavola Nera, back room, candlelight low. Goku at the head, Nick Palermo to his right, Bambi Palermo sitting back with that watchful fire in her eyes, and Lopez leaning in the corner, silent but loaded. The door creaks. In walks Sessa, tall, lean, scars on his knuckles from fights nobody dared to ask about. He don't bow, don't kiss rings, just nods once and takes the chair left open like it was meant for him. Brooklyn's boilin', Goku says, voice gravel deep. We need a man who don't spook easy, a man who's got no skin in the local games. Philly tells me you're that man. Sessa just lights another smoke, exhales slow. I ain't here to make friends. I ain't here to play your politics. I'm here 'cause Philly don't like the smell of Kansas City creeping into New York. And if I'm being honest, neither do I. You want order? You want the streets to remember what fear feels like? Then I'm your guy, but I ain't nobody's errand boy. I work with ya, not for ya. Nick bristles, but Bambi leans forward, smirking. Good. We don't need another soldier. We need a wolf. The move-first job? He don't waste time. Within a week, Sessa cracks heads in Bay Ridge, wipes out a crew trying to skim dock shipments under Zintelli's nose. Sends the survivors back to Kansas City missing teeth and dignity. Leaves one alive with a broken jaw just so the story spreads faster than wildfire. By the end of the month, everybody's whispering it. Anthony Sessa ain't Brooklyn. He ain't Philly. He's the blade between. The streets of Brooklyn don't trust outsiders. But Anthony Sessa ain't looking for trust. He's looking for blood, order, and maybe a shot at his own piece of the pie. And whether Brooklyn wants him or not, the wolf from Philly's here to stay. Brooklyn Bloodlines Season 2, coming soon, whether you're ready or not.
Mugs, what the fuck you doing in there, you prick?
The Devil in the Velvet Suit, The Psychology of Frank Costello, The Departed. They say every devil's got a disguise. Some wear horns, some wear halos, and some they wear velvet. Frank Costello, the Prime Minister of the Underworld. To the world he was a gentleman, silk suits, fine scotch, golf with judges. But behind that calm smile, a brain sharper than any blade on Mulberry Street. In the streets of New York and Boston, power wasn't about bullets. It was about influence. And Costello? He figured that out before anyone else. While other gangsters were shooting their way to headlines, he was buying the front page. When Jack Nicholson put on that smirk and called himself Frank Costello in The Departed, he wasn't just acting, he was resurrecting something. The movie Costello was a monster, part philosopher, part lunatic, part godfather. But to understand him, you got to go back to the real one, to the man who made crime respectable. The root of evil. Frank Costello was born Francesco Castiglia, Calabria, Italy, 1891. Kid comes over on a boat, dirt poor, lands in East Harlem, a jungle of tenements, hustlers, and hungry kids who'd kill for a nickel. He learned young. The system ain't made for guys like us, so he built his own. He starts with petty crimes, booze, dice, robberies, but he's got brains. When prohibition hits, Frank don't see liquor, he sees opportunity. He teams up with Lucky Luciano, Meyer Lansky, Bugsy Siegel, the brains of the next generation. Together they turn chaos into structure. The Mafia stops being a street gang and becomes a corporation. Luciano ran the muscle, Lansky ran the math. But Costello, he ran the men who ran the country. Cops, judges, senators, they all owed him favors. The guy didn't need a gun. He had the whole city in his pocket. Even the Irish politicos in Tammany Hall bent the knee. Frank Costello didn't just play the game, he wrote the damn rules. The philosopher of power. Here's where things get interesting. Costello wasn't just a criminal, he was a thinker. He believed power had two sides, violence and respect. One gets you fear, the other keeps you alive. Cut to the Departed scene. Nicholson lecturing Sullivan, cops or criminals. When you're facing a loaded gun, what's the difference? Vinny. See that line right there? That's Costello in a nutshell. He ain't talking about morality, he's exposing it. He's saying everyone's dirty. The difference is who's signing the checks. You're either the wolf or the shepherd, and he damn sure wasn't eating grass. Montage. Costello with politicians playing golf, laughing with judges. Vinny. Frank was the bridge between the underworld and the overclass. He didn't just bribe cops, he played chess with senators. In a world of bullets, he used the pen, and that's what made him dangerous. When he testified before Congress in 1951, the world heard his voice. "What have you done for your country, Mr. Costello?" they asked. And Frank, cool as ice, said, "I paid my taxes." That was it. A mobster taking a swing at Uncle Sam in front of live TV. The crowd loved it. The government didn't. Frank Costello understood something the rest never did, that real power don't shout, it whispers. That's why the men with guns worked for him, not the other way around. The death of honor. Every empire rots from the inside. For Costello, the snake in the grass was named Vito Genovese. Vito wanted the crown, didn't like taking orders from a man who wore silk instead of steel. One night, outside his apartment, a bullet grazes Frank's head. He lives, but something in him dies that night. The hunger, the fire. He steps down. He says, "Don't call me boss no more." Just like that, the King of New York walks away. See, that's the tragedy of the smart ones. They know when to fold. But in the mob, peace ain't permanent. You stop moving, you stop breathing. Costello stayed alive, but he never ruled again. And that's where The Departed picks up the thread. Scorsese's Costello ain't just Frank. He's the ghost of every fallen boss. A man drowning in his own legend. He knows the rules, but he's too far gone to follow him. That line hits different when you know the history. 'Cause the real Frank Costello was the environment. He built it, owned it, and outlived it. Frank Costello died in 1973. No limos, no processions, just a few suits, a few tears, and a city that barely noticed. But make no mistake, his fingerprints were still on every corner of power. The Mafia after Costello, more violent, more greedy, less brains, more blood. He came from an era where honor was currency, where a man's word was worth more than his trigger finger. After him, the streets got loud, messy, and stupid. Guys traded strategy for spectacle, and the world forgot what a gentleman gangster looked like. So what did we learn from Frank Costello? That evil don't always scream. Sometimes it shakes your hand and smiles. Sometimes it quotes scripture. Sometimes it holds a martini instead of a gun. In The Departed, Nicholson's Costello tells a young kid, "I don't want to be a product of my environment. I want my environment to be a product of me." That ain't just ego, that's prophecy. It's every man who clawed his way from dirt to diamonds, then forgot which one he was made of. Frank Costello was the last real boss, the last devil who knew how to dance in the daylight. And if history's got one lesson, it's this. You can buy the world, but you can't buy peace. Even velvet burns when it gets too close to hell. You ever walk these streets at night, alone, and just feel history breathing? Like every alley's got a secret, every shadow's got a story. This is where men like Frank Costello made their mark. Not in boardrooms or parades, but in whispers and handshakes under lamplight. Costello was a man who lived between worlds, the law and the lawless. He played the system like a violin and never missed a note. But at the end of the tune, even the maestros got to face the silence. So when you think about power, about respect, about legacy, remember Frank Costello. He proved you don't gotta shout to be heard. Sometimes the deadliest thing in the room is the man who smiles the most. This was Bambi's Twisted Tales, brought to you by the Pizzaverse Studios, where the streets still talk, the stories still breathe, and we don't glorify the life while we educate the legacy. Let me tell you something, brains beat bullets every damn time. So stick around, hit that subscribe button, and stay wise, my friends. 'Cause in the Pizzaverse, history ain't just told, it lives.
Today I decided to not give you bitches a second of time for the rest of my life. I'll be goddamned if I put in the work and I don't get the credit to fucking suffice. I've been too humble too much in my life, cutting them off so I'm measuring twice. Cause this time I mean it, I'm still fucking bleeding. Bitch, there was better way to hand me the knife. Like boy, little Snowy, Bodie is on me. Half of these idiots dumb as a brick. Swear I won't use it when all up on YouTube. I aim with the 45 fucking intense. Imagine if I'm stolen whip with a 10. Imagine if I finally wanted to quit. Imagine if this industry took the life out of bitch and all I got is fucking revenge. Who would I ride on if I'm about to call it? I think my fans know a couple of names. I know some 5-figure checks that I've written and can't say a word cause I bitch NDA. Call on my lawyers cause I keep them paid, but this ain't some shit that my lawyers could save. Cause if I do go out, I'm going out strong and I'll leave y'all a note with the key to the safe. That all of the friends that I lost that was talking shit all on the net, all of apologize, all of them know that I fucking invented, I'll never forget. I never went out in public to vent, I know exactly what I represent. And any little bitch that was that quick to switch up, all of you deserve what the fuck you gon' get. How does it feel when you look at your fans and you know that you'll lose them if I ever talk? If I ever pull up receipts or some video, shorty, I bet you piss in your drawers. All you little bitch ass, silly never shit ass, fickle ass, flip flop, blind ass hoe. You should thank God with like every breath that I ain't talk my shit cause I stuck to the code. But ain't I hit you up directly, tell you that you best be treading real carefully, bitch. Bitch, don't you forget we still got a debt. See, I'ma collect my shit. If you got a question, I got an answer. Ain't I keep the same line? All that boo-hoo shit on the net was a clout chase. Them lies are so tight. everybody that don't fuck with me fucks with each other. It's like a fucking union of dumbass people. Hey, but I'm coming back for my money though. I'm not playing, bitch.